The year is 1976. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the reigning MVP of the NBA. Alvin Adams is one of the rising young guns of the league after securing Rookie of the Year honors. And the Boston Celtics are defending champions after a thrilling series with the Phoenix Suns. It was a time where the ABA and NBA had merged together and became one in what was now a 22-team league. And it was a time without the three-point line, with the interior play the main focal point. From this point forward, the game will change dramatically. But what if we can turn back time and try and follow in the footsteps of history? We can now do that with NBA 2K77. Hello everyone, and welcome to NBA 2K77, a brand new mod which transforms NBA 2K21's PC edition into a completely different experience. It allows you to go back to the 1976-77 season and relive history and progress all the way to the current day with the various different uniforms, arenas, and players, as well as play styles, as well as the opportunity to try and rewrite history. My name's Justin Prince, and welcome to the first episode of my MyLeague. Before we begin, I'd like to give credit to the modders for all the work they put into this mod to be able to transform this game into what is essentially a completely different experience. It's unbelievable the amount of work that they put in to be able to transform this game from start to finish and be able to create the experience that they have. I've been playing around with this mod for several days now, and it is incredible, to say the very least. All their names are in the description of this video. I'd like to give them once again credit for all the work they have done. But to start things off, as you just seen, I've loaded the custom slider pack for the MyLeague that is available for this series, and we're doing one tweak to the settings. A best of 3 conference quarterfinals, because at the time in 1976-77 it was only a best of 3 series. It is worth noting as well for this series that on top of the team we'll be controlling for the series, we have 8 teams that technically are not supposed to exist that will essentially be controlled in a way that will make sure they do not exist in any relevant form until their actual real-world campaign. Now, the organization I want to utilize for this series is one that's going to be fairly challenging because it's one of the worst overall teams in the game. The Seattle SuperSonics, led by Fred Brown, Mike Bantam, and head coach Bill Russell. This organization just 79 overall, with an average player age of 24, so a lot of players who could potentially develop, especially when you look towards some of the ratings. Now, this organization is likely going to struggle early on, to say the very least, but I'm trusting in the process of being able to build a winning organization here in this series. It's going to take some seasons, but I think we can do it. Now, a couple things to note: we will be playing this series on Hall of Fame difficulty, meaning it's going to be very tricky to be able to score buckets as well as defend shots. With the playstyle required with this series, it's going to make things very difficult, to say the very least. As well, we will be utilizing multiple different types of episode formats, from play-by-play announcing to highlight packages, as well as CPU versus CPU possibly, just to see what this team has and be able to try different things throughout the course of the series. Now, as mentioned, this is going to be a process, so be sure to stick around because we're all set to go to take on the New Orleans Jazz to start off the 1976-77 season. Let's go. The following is a special presentation of the National Basketball Association on CBS. And we welcome you to downtown New Orleans to the Louisiana Superdome, where the New Orleans Jazz take on the Seattle SuperSonics to start the 1976-77 season. I'm Justin Prince. Welcome to today's matchup here on CBS. Let's take a look at your starting lineups for today's tilt. First, for Bill Russell and the Seattle SuperSonics, it's Slick Watts, Fred Brown, Bob Wilkerson, Leonard Gray, and Tom Burleson. Wow, for Elgin Baylor and the Jazz, it's Freddie Boyd, Pete Maravich, Nate Williams, E.C. Coleman, and Otto Moore who will be starting for today's tilt. Both teams are all set to go to start the 1976-77 season in style. We are now underway from the Big Easy. Jazz win the opening tip, given quickly to Maravich. Maravich guarded by Brown for the opening possession of the season. Drives by Brown, Maravich with the floater over top. Tom Burleson gets it to go. And the third best scorer in the NBA last season in Pistol Pete gets on the board early within the first 20 seconds. With it now is Gray. Loses the ball, picked up by Williams. He takes it coast to coast with a left-hand layup. He's got it. And a poor possession to start for Seattle. Gray will now set things back up once more for the SuperSonics. Burleson back to Gray. Pick sent by Wilkerson. He cuts inside, gets it down low, gets it with the layup inside. The SuperSonics respond with their first bucket of the season after turning it over on their first possession. It's now 4-2, a minute into the first quarter here on CBS. Moore, guarded by Burleson in the high post. Trying to find space as Maravich. He cuts inside, but the right hand gets it a draw. And the two-time All-Star extends the lead to 6-2 early in this one. Watts, trying to cut inside, draws the whistle. He'll go to the line to shoot for two. Freddie Boyd caught for his first personal first-team foul of the season for either side. Last season, 71.1% was the average for the SuperSonics. That was dead last in the NBA out of 18 organizations. When it comes to Watts, he ended up shooting 57.8% from the stripe. He was the winner of the 1976 J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award for his work for community service. Second free throw is good, and that brings the lead down to 2. Boyd, guarded by Watts, cuts inside, draws the quick whistle back, and now he'll go to the line to shoot for 2. Gray called for his first personal, first-team foul against Seattle. For the New Orleans Jazz, they shot 75.8% from the stripe in 1975-76. That was 9th best in the NBA. Boyd, though, had only played 36 combined games with the 76ers and the Jazz after being claimed off waivers. He shot 56.9% from the stripe in those combined matchups. 4.9 points per game, 2.2 assists per game for the 5th overall pick in 1972. Second free throw is good, and the Jazz now lead by 4. Paint left wide open as Watts sets up the play. Finding some space now once more is Gray. Watts gets it back. Cuts inside. Trying to drive by Boyd. Can't get it to drop. Rebounded by Boyd once more. Boyd just averaged under a rebound per game. Last season, he goes for the jump shot. No good. Picked up by Wilkerson on the board. The rookie from Indiana University on that rebound went 86-6 with the Indiana Hoosiers during his collegiate career. Setting things up for the Sonics. Watts tries to cut inside, nearly loses the ball. Passes it back out for the mid-range jump shot, no good. The second rounder for 1974 not able to make the J. Maravich on the fast break with a man in his face, can't get it to drop. Rebounded by Gray, able to quickly get back that time. Seattle last season was 16th in rebounds per game, 45.3 rebounds per game. With it is Burleson. Gets it poked loose. Poked to the sideline and taken away by Williams for the second time this game. He goes coast to coast for the bucket. And it's a 10-4 run to start for the Jazz over the SuperSonics. A rough start for Seattle from the field. Burleson down low off the front rim. Moore with the rebound that time as Maravich now takes it up. Given down low to Williams again for the bucket. And a strong start for Nate Williams. That extends the lead to 8. Approaching about 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Watts, outside to Gray, swung to Wilkerson. The former Hoosier drives inside. He'll go to the line to shoot for 2. He was a starter for the undefeated national champion Indiana Hoosiers in 1976. It was described by Bob Knight that he was the most valuable player he had ever coached, and he could guard anyone. First free throw is good for Wilkerson. Second one is good. That's 4 points and a rebound so far for Wilkerson. Boy, with the wide open paint now for the Jazz. Give it off to Williams. Wilkerson on the defense. 10 on the shot clock. Jazz now making some motions. Going out to Coleman. Off to Boyd. 3 on the shot clock. Screen set. Contested jump shot goes up. No good. Rebounded by Cohen for the second chance. Slams it down. And a 14-6 run so far for the Jazz. Seattle looking to pump the brakes on said run. Just one made field goal so far for the Seattle SuperSonics. Brown, guarded by Mirovic, gives it down low to Wilkerson. With traffic, no good. Taken up by Williams. Pistol Pete finds some separation, gets the pass down low for the bucket. And a timeout called by Seattle, their first. With 7:46 to go in the first, the Jazz lead 16-6. And welcome back to New Orleans, where the Jazz lead 16-6 over the Seattle SuperSonics. So far, it's been a struggle for Seattle. Just 1 for 5 shooting from the field. 2 trips to the stripe are how they've scored their points so far. 10 on the shot clock. Watts with the ball. Gives it off to Burleson. Goes to the high post. Guarded by Moore. Spins it down low. Up and under. Gets it to drop. And that stops the bleeding. The second made field goal for Seattle on the day. The Jazz are 7 for 10 from the field. Boyd gets it stripped away by Watts. Give it up to Burleson. Through the double team on the fast break, gets it to draw. An impressive job by Burleson to be able to use the size mismatch on the fast break. And all of a sudden, the lead is down to just 6 with 7 minutes to go in the first. Nearly stripped away from Mirovic now. Brown not able to pick up the ball as Pistol Pete resets the offense. Down low to Williams. Guarded by Wilkerson. 8 on the shot clock. Paint left wide open. In fact, his entire side of the floor is wide open. Goes for the leaner back. No good. Can't get it to go. Brown slows things back down for Seattle. Burleson sets up the screen. Given off to Burleson. Going for the shot. Rejected and knocked out of bounds. Goodrich, the second free throw is good. That extends the lead to 27-21 with 3:11 to go in the first quarter here on CBS. Phantom. Giving it off to Dennis Johnson. Johnson gets the screen now from Green. Trying to drive forward, poked loose by Goodrich. He takes it up the floor, coast to coast. Goes for the jump shot, no good. Rebounded once more by Green, the former ABA All-Star with the Denver Nuggets. Johnson going down the floor, downhill gets it. And an impressive job by the rookie, his first career NBA bucket. What a road for Dennis Johnson to get here, to say the very least. After high school, worked as a forklift driver, eventually found his way to JUCO, won a state title before going to Pepperdine College for one season where he averaged about 16 points per game. Bucket down low is good. And now the SuperSonics are within 2. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Moore down low for the stop. Watts now looking to try and respond for Seattle. Screen set for Green, going for the jump shot, wide open, can't get it to fall. Off the front rim that time, rebounded by Aaron James. James, down the floor, rejected off the glass. More second chance, no good off the side of the rim. Phantom on the rebound, Watts now takes it up. Slowing it back down to reset. It's a reach and call goes against James. That will put the Jazz over the limit and bring Watts back to the strike. The first one no good for Seattle last season. They were able to make it to the Western Conference Finals to take on the Phoenix Suns. 4-2 was the series loss for them. But the Utah Jazz, they went 38-44 on the campaign. They did not make the postseason. Goodrich, jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Bantam. Taken up now to Bruce Seals for the layup. He's got it. And what a start it's been for Seals. 9 points, 8 of them in the paint so far. He is perfect from the field. Approaching a minute to go now in the first quarter. Screen set. Goodrich with space. Behagen drives wide open for the slam. Bit back and forth now after seeing a lead that was as large as 10 points for New Orleans. Seals down low, gets it to go. He's now got 11. An impressive and hot start for Seals. McElroy. Off to James. 12 on the shot clock. Moore now goes to the high post. Looking for a man to pass to. Given off to Goodrich for the long jump shot. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Johnson. Draws the jump ball, however. And that's going to bring us the jump circle. Jump ball won by the Jazz. Behagen with the rebound. McElroy. Now along the baseline. Given off to Goodrich for another long jump shot. Again, no good. Rebounded by Seals. Watts now takes it up. Give it off to Johnson. Looking for their first lead of the day is Seattle. Down low it goes for the bucket. He's got it. Shot clock is off. Seattle now leads for the first time, 32-31. Goodrich with a man in his face. To beat the buzzer, can't get it to go. After a quarter of play, the Seattle SuperSonics lead 32-31. And we welcome you back to New Orleans, where the Jazz trail by 1 to the Seattle SuperSonics, 32-31. It's been an intriguing game so far, where the Jazz have led by double digits, but Seattle was able to take their first lead of the game with about 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Back underway on the floor for Seattle. Johnson, Green, Seals, Wilkerson lined up as well with Bantam. No good on the shot from Johnson on the floor for Seattle. Williams, McElroy, Goodrich, Behagen rounding out the 5 is James. Goodrich guarded by Johnson. He gives the clamps. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Down to the low post. Green on the defense. Nearly poked loose. Down to 2 on the shot clock. McElroy with the double team, no good. Green on the rebound. Wilkerson will take it up. Dennis Johnson gets it. Guarded by Williams down the baseline. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Williams. He had a couple steals in that first quarter. Give it off to Goodrich for the long jump shot. Gets to the drop. And Gail Goodrich makes it now 5 points on the day. He was 0 for 6 from the field before that shot. Just past a minute into the second quarter here on CBS. The Jazz lead by 2. Seals gets it to drop down low. Ties it back up at 34. And an impressive back and forth affair has now started to develop amongst these teams. Goodrich long jump shot, no good. Again, can't get it to drop. He is now 1 for 8 on the day. Johnson over top his man Goodrich, no good. Rebounded by Seattle for the second chance. Johnson, baseline. With 6 on the shot clock. Gives it off to Wilkerson. Guarded by McElroy. Goes down baseline for the layup, yes. And an impressive start for Wilkerson. 6 points now of the day. He's now 2 for 3. Goodrich goes for another long jump shot. Drains another long jump shot. And back and forth we go here in the Big Easy. With it now is Bantam. Bantam gets the screen set. Down low. Seals down again. Gets the lucky roll. Bruce Seals, the leading scorer for either side in that first quarter, by the way. 13 points now. He is 6 for 6. Goodrich with the response back down low. Gets it. And a seesaw affair starting to develop. Seals with the drive. Gets it in. And an impressive slam by Bruce Seals makes it 7 for 7 now on the day. As the timeout called by New Orleans, Elgin Baylor not liking what he's seen with 9:09 to go in the second. Welcome back to the Louisiana Superdome here on CBS, where multiple substitutions now come into play after the timeout. Brown, Gray, and Burleson coming for Seattle. Rejection on the first shot. Second shot, no good. Third shot is good from the Jazz. They also go with several different adjustments to their lineup, as now Brown is setting things up as the point guard. When it comes to Fred Brown, coming off an all-star performance, he watches as that's turned over, taken back up by the Jazz. Maravich now in the corner, goes for the mid-range J, can't get it a draw. Burleson on the rebound, his third of the day so far. So far, Pistol Pete 3 for 8 from the field, just 6 points so far. Brown driving into the double team, down to Gray, leaning back for the shot, gets it a go, a pretty one. And Seattle retakes the lead with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Maravich guarded by Wilkerson and a reach-in called. First personal against Wilkerson. Second team foul at the quarter. Coleman will now inbound. Given off to be Hagan. Looking to scan the court, gives it off to Williams. Has a size mismatch. Gets the screen set, goes for the jump shot from the free throw line, can't get it a go. Wilkerson will now take it up and pick up the tempo. Leans to the side, and over the back is called against Gray. His second personal. Under 8 minutes to go in the first half here in New Orleans as it's stolen away by Brown. Going to strip it away from Boyd. Down to Wilkerson with the right-hand layup. He's got it. Bob Wilkerson continues to impress in his NBA debut against the Jazz so far. Boyd, wide open on the cut, gets it. Seattle had struggled early on in this game, keep in mind. They're now shooting 59% from the field. Gray down low brings that shot percentage down. Taken back up by Boyd. Poke Deluxe. Stolen away by Brown again. He takes it up the left side. Brown stops, resets, tries to pass it back, and Maravich steals it away. What a bad pass, and another bad pass stolen away by Bantam now. Off to Gray. Burleson helps slow things down as it goes back to Gray. Burleson calls for it. Gets it back, leans it forward, can't get it a draw. This is starting to pile up for both sides now as Maravich goes baseline, draws the whistle. Pistol Pete will go to the line to shoot for two. Second personal against Wilkerson on the day. And Pistol Pete, as talked about earlier, third in points per game, was able to earn him first team All-NBA honors for 1975-76 despite playing in just 62 games. He averaged 25.9 points per game, 5.4 assists, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game. Hagan will now come out of the game for a substitution for Moore. But an impressive career so far with both the Hawks and the Jazz for Pistol Pete. Drains the second, and the Jazz now lead 45-44. Taken back up by the All-Star, downtown Brown. Down to Burleson. Draws the whistle from behind, and he'll go to the line to shoot for two. First personal against Moore, and the fouls starting to pick up for both sides. For Burleson, averaged 15.6 points per game last season, as well as about 9 rebounds per game. 75% from the free throw line last season as he makes the first of two. He was also one of the top shot blockers for 1975-76. 150 blocks. That was 7th best in the NBA. Also one of its top free throw shooters with 291. Drains both, and Seattle back on top. Boyd will now set things up for the Jazz once more. One player sets up in the paint. Pick set now for Maravich. Maravich sheds his defender for the drive. Again! Pistol Pete is starting to heat up. That's now 4 points this quarter for Maravich. Watts trying to scan the court. Has a man down low. Bantam wide open, yes, with the right hand. Mike Bantam, who was picked up from Phoenix after his player rights were sold last season, able to make the bucket. Maravich drives in again. This time rejected off the side of the backboard. And he draws the N1. Maravich to the strike to shoot one. Baseline inbound coming up. Under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Goodrich tries to get separation. Goes for the long J again. Can't get it to drop. Burleson on the rebound. Downhill running is Johnson to Seals. This time no good. Second chance by Green, no good. And some of the shots continue to just not want to fall tonight from inside as Goodrich from outside can't get it to go either. Johnson goes over to the left side, gets some separation. Looks for a pocket to pass to. Gives it off to Seals. Seals backs up his man. Passed out to Green. 7 on the shot clock. Green goes for the twirl and gets it. Mike Green coming over from the Virginia Squires from last season before the ABA-NBA merger, able to make the bucket. And with 2 minutes to go in the first half, we're tied at 61. Change that to 63-61 as Maravich again gets the bucket. It's been a red-hot second quarter for Pistol Pete. Just 6 points in the first quarter, now 19 on the game. That's 13 this frame. No good as James picks up the rebound this time. Burleson trying to find a man to switch to. Johnson watches as the lob goes right to Coleman. He'll go to the line to shoot for 2. E.C. Coleman led in scoring to start the first quarter for the Jazz with 7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 for 3 from the stripe. Continues his track record from the free throw line, where he was 1 for 1 in the first. Second one's no good. 3-point game still. Johnson going right by Maravich for the stop. And an impressive debut from Johnson so far. 6 points, along with a rebound and assist. Slowly working his way in, the rookie, as Maravich, long jumper, gets it to go. Maravich is in flago here in this second quarter. Under a minute to go. Green gets it. Given back off to Wilkerson. Has a clean pocket. Goes for the leaner. No good. Green second chance. Draws the whistle. Maravich called for the whistle. That's his second personal. And the 15th foul has now brings Seattle to the strike. And both teams are livid in this sequence. Keep in mind that the free throws have been piling up for both sides. They went back and forth for those just tuning in for a good 3 minutes from the charity stripe. First one is good, with a chance to bring it down to 1 with the second attempt. Last season, Green, 17 points per game, 9.6 assists per game. Rather, rebounds per game, and 1.5 assists per game with the Squires. Both are good. It's down to a 1-point game again. Goodrich, guarded by Watts. Johnson now puts the clamps back on Maravich. 10 on the shot clock. Off to Goodrich. Jukes out Watts. Maravich Longe. No good. Rebounded by Seals. Brought up by Watts. Over to Johnson. Johnson again stuffs it in. Johnson now has 8 points this game in his NBA debut. An impressive debut for Johnson so far. About a 1 second difference. Shot clock and game clock. Longe from Goodrich. No good. Seals on the rebound that time. Johnson runs it back down the floor. Shot clock is off. Scans the court. Seals with the pick. Seals with the fade. Goes down low. No good. And that'll end off a wild first half. After 24 minutes of play, the Seattle SuperSonics lead 67-66 over the Jazz. And a look at the festivities here in New Orleans as the Jazz trail by 1 in a thriller against the Seattle SuperSonics. I'm Justin Prince. Welcome back to CBS's coverage in what's been an intriguing season opener so far. Back and forth has been the way to describe this matchup for a majority of the game. After the Jazz controlled much of the first, it's been back and forth since then. Brown, first possession of the quarter, stripped away by Maravich. Taken up by Boyd, wide open for the layup. And similar to the first possession of the first half, first possession of the second half for Seattle gets turned over and leads to fast break points. Slick Watts gives it off to Brown. Screen set for Brown. Trying to find space is Wilkerson. Down low, he goes for the quick kiss. An impressive debut for Bob Wilkerson, now with 10 points, 1 steal, 1 rebound, 4-6 shooting. 55% were the Sonics in the first half. The Jazz shot 45%, 24-53. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Boyd has some open space with 5 on the shot clock. Screen set for Boyd. From the free throw line. No good. Second chance. Brumby gets it. And the seesaw effect continues here in New Orleans. Watts down low to Gray this time. Behind the back. It goes down low to Burleson. And Tom Burleson now gets himself in the double-digit club as well. He's got 11 points. He's on double-double watch with 6 rebounds as well. With it is Pistol Pete. Can't get the jump shot to go. Rebounded by Brown. Brown scans the court. All defenders on standby as Burleson gets it back. Now has an opening. Goes for the post move. Gets it. And Seattle with one of their largest leads of the day with just 3 points. Once again, Maravich. Long jump shot, no. Second chance, rejected all the way to the first row. Inbound coming up for the Jazz. Just past 2 minutes into the third quarter as Boyd draws the N1. He'll go to the line to shoot 1. Freddie Boyd now with 9 points on the day. He is perfect from the stripe, 3 for 3. And a quick reach-in called. That time goes against Williams. Trying to strip it away from Gray. Remember, that first possession in the first quarter was Gray who had it poked away from him. Brown gets the screen set. Looking for a man to pass it off to. Gives it to Burleson once more. Back in the low post. Burleson spins by his man. Burleson starting to catch on fire. Make it now 15 points for Tom Burleson. Boyd jukes out Watts. And a whistle call, and it goes against Gray. And now he'll go to the stripe once more. So far, 15 for 16. Entering the quarter for the Jazz. They'll add to that total here with this trip. For comparison, Seattle, 15 for 17. Second one is good. We're tied back at 75. 9:20 to go in the third quarter. Burleson again down low. Again, it's good. What an impressive game from both of these squads on offense. Maravich drives in, trying to respond, and gets it again. Pistol Pete with 23. Burleson and Maravich going back and forth. Burleson gets himself a bucket with 19 now in the day. And something's going to have to give with this back and forth affair. Boyd. Off to Moore. Given back off to Boyd. Paint left wide open with 8 on the shot clock. Alley-oop attempt deflected all the way into the second deck. Now bringing substitutions. Wilkerson will come out of the game. Into the game will come Bantam. Inbounded back down the baseline with 7 on the shot clock. Off to Boyd. Screen set again. Boyd off to Moore with a man to defend. No good. Second chance, no good. Third chance goes in. And again, it's Coleman who is there to clean up the glass. Burleson with the drive gets it. 12 points this quarter from Tom Burleson. An impressive third from the big man. Maravich gets the screen set. Trying to shed Brown. Rejected by Burleson. Taken up now by Seattle. Off to Gray. Given back to Brown. Burleson calling for it. Brown wants to drive instead. Can't get it to go. Pistol Pete with the rebound. Maravich takes it on down. Gives it down low to Boyd. And it's good. Tied back up at 81 once more. And that breaks up a stretch where it was either Pistol Pete or Burleson scoring. Burleson, jump shot, no good. He's starting to cool off. Down the floor, Maravich, jumper, gets it to swish. 50% so far for the Jazz shooting in the quarter. They are looking very solid here. Down low, Burleson, he'll go to the line to shoot for 2. And the whistle goes against Williams this time. Johnson, the second one, is good. And the Jazz have one of their largest leads since the first half. 103-97, stripped away by Johnson. He goes coast to coast for the stuff again. That's 11 points now for Dennis Johnson. Back within 4. Goodrich gives it off to Moore, nearly stolen away on the pass. Give it off to McElroy. Wilkerson, he loses him. James, give it off to McElroy. Back off to Moore. Back to Goodrich. 4 on the shot clock. Trying to juke move around. Going to the right hand. Can't get it to drop. Bounces off into Behagen's hands. No good. Picked up and taken down. Wilkerson. Giving off now to Seals. Off to Green. Has a size mismatch. Can he take advantage? Passes it behind the back to Bantam, who gets it to go on the layup. 6 points now for Bantam. Green able to pick up the assist. His 4th. And a timeout called by New Orleans. The lead that was as high as 8 points is back down to 2. 55.6 seconds to go in the third quarter here on CBS. Justin Prince with you as the Jazz lead 103-101 in a high-scoring affair. Goodrich gives it off to McElroy. Back to Behagen. Goodrich now with 8 on the shot clock to play with. Moore trying to size up his way. Stolen away by Gray. Taken up the floor. Off to Wilkerson. Wilkerson cutting in. Under the cup. Has to reset to Johnson. Johnson now tries to cut in. Back into the post they go. Down the side. No good. Second chance and a fresh 14. Green to Johnson. Green sets the screen. He cuts in. Johnson with the layup. No good. Third opportunity. This time doesn't drop either. Shot clock is now off. James will take it up. Has it poked loose. And knocked out of bounds with 7.7 seconds remaining. And both sides will take the opportunity to make substitutions here before the start of the fourth quarter. Freddie Boyd will come into the game for the final 7.7 to set up the offense. Goes down low to Moore. Moore rejected off the rim. Down to the final seconds. Not enough time to get a shot off. And after 3 quarters of play, the Jazz lead 103-101. And welcome back to the Big Easy, where the Jazz lead 103-101 with 1 quarter to play. I'm Justin Brents. Welcome back to CBS's coverage in what has been a thriller so far from the Louisiana Superdome. With it right now, trying to set things up for the Jazz. Burleson gets spun loose, and the bucket is good from Coleman. 12 points now for E.C. Coleman. Johnson gets multiple screens set. Wilkerson cuts in. Wilkerson with the bucket. Wilkerson with the end 1-2. And an impressive bucket for Wilkerson. Wilkerson so far now with 13 points, 2 rebounds, an assist and a steal. He's now 5 for 7. 1 point game. Boyd cuts in. He gets an end 1 back as well. Burleson called for his second personal, and now bring Freddie Boyd to the stripe. No good on the free throw. He's still got 17 points this game. His first miss from the stripe. Approaching 1 minute into the 4th quarter here on CBS. 107-104 is your score. Wilkerson with the screen. Gets the pass to the top. 5 on the shot clock. Guarded by Goodrich. Out to Brown. Goes for the mid-range jump shot. No good. Rebounded by Gray. Second chance. Can't get it to go. Picked back up by the Jazz. Taken down to Williams. Down to Goodrich. Goodrich gets it deflected and goes out of bounds. A nice defensive stop. But that will reset the play now for the Jazz. So far, 58% shooting for Seattle. Still 45% for the Jazz. They've been very strong on the steals, though, has New Orleans, with 8 steals. 8 on the shot clock now. Behagen, guarded by Gray. Sizing up, 2 on the shot clock. Off to Goodrich for the long jumper. Rolls out. Picked up by Burleson on the rebound that time. Goodrich so far has been ice cold from the field. Despite his high scoring, 5 for 19 is stripped away by Boyd. He tries to go coast to coast with the right hand, drops it. And the Jazz starting to pick up some momentum in this one. Seattle starting to look like they're running out of steam in this one with 10 minutes to go. Gray with the screen. Johnson with the size up. Off to Burleson with the size mismatch. He can't get it to go after the strong 3rd quarter. Boyd now brings it down the floor again. Kicked out to Goodrich. Long jumper. No. Tap back in by Coleman. That is now the 17th offensive rebound from the Jazz in this game. Compare that to Seattle. They had just 11 in the 3rd. Burleson. Off to Wilkerson. Long jumper. No. Picked up by Coleman once more. Williams. Trying to drive it in, off to Goodrich for the mid-range J. He's got it. Timeout called by Seattle. And the SuperSonics running out of gas with 9:12 to go. They trail by 9. And boy, oh boy, what a collapse for Seattle is the best thing you can say. After trailing by just 9 with 9 minutes to go, they allowed 10 points in the span of a minute and have struggled since then. Both benches are on the floor. Griffin with the second chance is good. 144-116 your score. And the stat sheet says it all. 30 for 53 for the Jazz in this half. Just 22 makes for comparison's sake from Seattle, and that doesn't include the multiple trips to the stripe from both teams. Barnhill trying to find some space, drives in off the front rim, no good. With the win, the New Orleans Jazz will move to 1-0 on the season, while the Seattle SuperSonics will drop to 0-1. Fader no good, rebounded by Barnhill. Tolson. Kicked off to Olenek. Stolen away. Brought up now by Brewer. Wide open chance for Stallworth. Gets it. And it continues to get more and more ugly here in New Orleans. After being such a thrower for 3 quarters, it is disappointing to see how this thing fared out for Seattle. But a lot to retool and rebuild for their next matchup, to say the very least. About 30 seconds now to go in the 4th quarter. Stallworth to Griffin. Rejected by Seals. 3-second different shot clock and game clock. Down to Tolson. He slams it in. He's got 6. But the shot clock will now turn off as the celebration will start at the Louisiana Superdome. Winding things down will be the Jazz. There'll be a backcourt violation there. After going 38 and 44 in 75-76, they'll start off 76-77, 1-0. New Orleans wins 146-120. With that, it's time to say goodbye. I'm Justin Prince saying so long. You've been watching NBA on CBS. Enjoy the rest of your night. Once again, your final score, 146-120 is the final. Absolute collapse. That's the best way to describe what just happened. When it comes to that game, we absolutely fell apart in the 4th quarter. 20 allowed field goals for the New Orleans Jazz. Pistol Pete Maravich scoring 50 points. There's nothing else to really say, other than we were able to keep up for just about the entire game, and then just lost steam with about 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter when everyone started to get fatigued. We were led in scoring by Burleson tonight, followed by Seals with 24 points, 25 for Burleson. Slick Watts 19 and 13, Bob Wilkerson 13 points, Dennis Johnson in his rookie debut 11 points, 5 of 10 shooting, as well as 1 for 2 from the free throw line, as well as a 10 for 14 from Green off the bench. It was a fairly productive game, but when you allow Pistol Pete to go off for 50, and then Freddie Boyd to go off for 25 points, it's not going to be an easy day. 18 for 28, by the way, for Pistol Pete. We outshot them in terms of field goal percentage, but when it comes to the Jazz, they had way more opportunities on offense. They forced a ton of turnovers late, 13 steals, picked up 22 offensive rebounds. We're just not going to win games like that. And it was a tough way to start off the season, but we were expecting it to be a tough road. We've seen the results of that tonight. With that, it's time to say goodbye. Episode 2 will see us move into the middle of December all the way to the end of said month as we look to try and get into the win column and look to try and develop our roster. With that, I'll let you guys go. I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. We'll see you in episode 2.